Have you ever noticed that the days that your mood feel the heaviest, your digestion also feels off? Maybe you're bloated, you're constipated, or you're just uncomfortable. And at the same time, you are fighting brain fog, you are fighting this wave of sadness, or maybe even anxiety that you can't quite explain. Your gut and your brain are in constant conversation. And in today's episode, we are going to talk about how supporting your gut might be one of the most powerful ways to support your mood too. So let's be honest. When your mood is low and your stomach is upset, it can feel absolutely cruel. You're already dragging yourself throughout the day with no energy, maybe feeling disconnected, unmotivated. You just want to curl up into bed and relax. And then your digestion jumps in with its own drama. The bloating, the cramping, the unpredictable bathroom trips. But the thing is, these two are not necessarily separate problems that are living in two completely different worlds. So your gut and your brain are deeply connected. They talk to each other all day long through your vagus nerve, through hormones, and even through a massive network of nerve cells that are living inside of your digestive tract. And that is why some people call the gut our second brain, because it holds about 100 million nerve cells, which are enough to send constant updates to your central nervous system. And if your gut is irritated or if it's inflamed, those signals aren't going to be calm or positive. They are going to be, hey, help, something is wrong. And this is the part of the reason that so many women who do have gut issues, things like IBS or SIBO, maybe even leaky gut, also tend to experience depression, anxiety, brain fog, and fatigue. When your gut health suffers, your mental health often does too. And here's one of the biggest reasons. Up to 90% of your serotonin, which is the neurotransmitter that helps to regulate your mood, your sleep, and yes, even digestion, is made in the gut. Not necessarily the brain, but your gut. So when your digestive system is inflamed, when you are not necessarily breaking down food well, there's inflammation, maybe some leaky gut or dysbiosis going on, when the bacterial balance of your microbiome is off, your serotonin production often drops, and dopamine levels can also take a hit. And when that happens, it's really easy to feel flat, to feel unmotivated, or just off. And if you've been under chronic stress, it can tighten that connection even more. That stress can slow down your digestion. It can change your microbiome. It can deplete the very nutrients that your gut needs in order to produce the mood-supporting chemicals. So you end up in this loop where you are stressed, your digestion gets worse, then because of that, your mood drops, which in turn makes your stress worse, and it just goes around and around and around. So maybe you've had a stretch of a few days with some digestive flare-ups like the bloating, the constipation, maybe even diarrhea, and you notice your mood dipping at the same time. Or maybe you've gone through a really stressful month and suddenly you're not just emotionally drained, but you're also more sensitive to food that you used to tolerate just fine. Or maybe you had these afternoons where you were feeling really anxious, more hyper, more reactive, even withdrawn. And then you realize that your stomach has not been happy all day. And again, this isn't random. Your gut and your brain are two sides of the same coin. But the good news is, because they can both influence each other, we can also support them together. So inside my work at bloominwell.com, we use functional medicine to explore both gut and nervous system health at the same time. Because when we do that, healing doesn't feel like a tug of war anymore. So if you are listening and you are thinking, hey, this is me, but I don't even know where to start, you're not alone. I will walk you through some gentle, doable first steps in the next part of this episode. So, how do you know if your gut could be a part of what's driving your low mood? Here are some patterns that I see all of the time in my clients. So firstly, if you have persistent bloating, constipation, or diarrhea, especially when you are also feeling very anxious or down, maybe you're noticing cravings specifically for sugar, refined carbs, maybe even comfort foods right when your energy or your emotions dip. You've likely developed multiple food sensitivities, or you find that your digestion is just much more reactive than it used to be. Maybe you're experiencing brain fog, poor focus, you're forgetting why you walked into a room, or you're just generally irritable, especially after eating certain things. And your mood is dropping when you're sleep deprived or when you're stressed, and then your digestion is flaring up at the same time. And maybe you've been diagnosed with things like IBS, with SIBO, with leaky gut, candida, etc. And your emotional symptoms tend to follow the same ups and downs as your gut flares. So if you are nodding your head to more than one of these, it is a great sign that your gut-brain connection could use some extra love. And just to be clear, this doesn't mean that you need a perfect diet or a very complicated supplement routine. What it means is that your body is sending signals that it needs stability, nourishment, and safety. So let's start with food. And I don't want you to think about a huge, massive overhaul that you're doing overnight. We are talking about very gentle upgrades that your gut will notice. So giving your body really simple, recognizable ingredients. Think vegetables, healthy fats, quality proteins, and natural sources of fiber. These are going to be things that your gut bacteria know how to work with. And if you need ideas for recipes, check out our gut health reset on our website at bloominwell.com, or you can check out our Pinterest where we have boards of healthy whole foods recipes just for your gut. So I know it can feel really overwhelming to change out every meal. So we try not to encourage our clients and patients to do so. What we have them do is to start with one meal a day that can really be calming and nourishing for your digestive tract. So that might be a really warm bowl of soup, of maybe some bone broth with some chicken or some light veggies. Maybe a warm bowl of oatmeal with some almond butter and some berries on top and a couple of eggs on the side for a really hearty breakfast. Maybe even a colorful salad with some healthy protein. So these small shifts are going to send a huge message to your gut, and then in turn, a huge message to your brain that says, hey, you are safe, you are supported, I am listening, we can relax. Now, if you are bloating constantly or you're feeling really inflamed, it can help to temporarily pull back on the biggest triggers. So things like refined sugars, glutens, highly processed seed oils can be triggers for bloating. Now, if you've noticed that really high FODMAP foods like onions, garlic, beans, things like that are giving you trouble, you do not have to ban them forever. So sometimes pulling them back for a few weeks can give your digestive system a break so that it can heal, and later you can reintroduce them more comfortably. So think of it as giving your digestive system some quiet room to kind of recover in temporarily, not necessarily locking it all away and throwing out the key permanently. Your microbiome, which is the community of bacteria that are living in your digestive tract, primarily your large colon, plays a big role in how you feel, both physically and emotionally. And you can nourish this in multiple ways. So soluble fiber from things like oats, from chia seeds, even cooked vegetables can be very good for it. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, things like that can really help to amp up the good bacteria in your digestive tract. And if you need targeted probiotics or even gut repairing supplements like L-glutamine or aloe, ideally with the guidance of someone who does understand sensitive systems, these additions can really benefit your gut and create a strong foundation for that gut-brain axis to work from and to communicate from. So if you have been living with both low mood, with gut symptoms, maybe some anxiety, you are not broken. Your body is not broken. You are not failing. Your body has been working overtime for a very, very long time, and it is finally asking for care in a new way. And I want you to remember that you don't have to fix everything overnight, and you do not have to do this alone. So if you are curious about going deeper, maybe even using functional stool testing or a step-by-step gut reset, we do have our gut health reset program, which was built for this exact intersection between your mood and your digestion. So it is designed to be very gentle, to be flexible, and nervous system friendly. So you can repair your gut without added stress and flare-ups on your system. So you will find the link in the show notes if you're curious about exploring that. Now, here's something that most people don't realize. Your gut cannot truly repair itself if your nervous system is constantly in that fight or flight mode. So when your brain is perceiving danger, whether it is actual danger or just the stress of a busy day, it is diverting resources away from your digestion. Things like blood flow, stomach acid production goes down, your gut motility slows down. This is your body's way of saying, hey, we can deal with digestion later. Right now, we need to survive. But if that later never comes because the stress is constant, your digestion never gets the resources it needs. And your gut-brain communication stays in that stress loop. And that's why calming down your nervous system isn't just a nice to have thing, right? It's not just a luxury. It is essential for breaking down the cycle between gut issues and mood struggles. And I know life doesn't just stop being stressful because we want it to, right? But there are very small, doable ways that you can signal to your body that you are safe enough to shift into that rest and digest mode. So here are a few practices we recommend to our clients and that you can try today. So breath work before meals. Before you eat, place a hand on your belly and take 3 slow, deep breaths in through the nose for a count of 4. Exhale longer than that inhale for a count of 6 to 8. And this can help to switch that body into a calmer state so that the food you're eating actually gets digested and turned into nutrients. And then we can also do some gentle, light movement after meals. So once you've finished your meal, maybe get up and wash some dishes or go outside for a short walk or do maybe 5 to 10 minutes of light stretching. It doesn't have to be anything super complicated or really heavy. Just some light movement can help to stimulate that digestion without overtaxing your system. And then we have vagus nerve stimulation. So singing, humming, even gargling water can help to activate that vagus nerve, which is the main highway of communication between the gut and the brain. And this vagus nerve actually helps to signal safety and to support your digestion. Grounding rituals are also very beneficial. So maybe stepping outside and feeling your feet on the ground, sitting in the sun for a little while, or laying out and taking a nap outside and just listening to the birds and nature. Something that is peaceful, that is grounding to you. It could be meditation even. All of these things can calm your body quickly and shift into that parasympathetic. So you don't have to do all of these, just pick 1 or 2 that feels the easiest right now, and you can start incorporating it from there. So when you regularly give your body these moments of safety, you're not just helping your gut digest food. You are improving communication between your gut and your brain. And that can mean more steady energy, fewer mood dips, and less reactivity. So over time, you might notice that you can tolerate more foods, you can recover from stress faster, and feel more present in your life every single day. And the beautiful part is that you don't have to fix everything about your diet. You don't have to fix everything about your stress. Your nervous system is key here, right? And nervous system support can help to create that foundation where other changes like nutrition or supplements can actually work better. So if you would like space to explore these tools with other women who understand what you're going through, come join us in the Garden, which is our free Discord community. We have weekly check-ins, we have office hours where you can ask me questions in Discord over a voice call, and a supportive space where you can share your wins and challenges. So you'll find the link again in the show notes, and we would love to welcome you to join us. Sometimes, even with nourishing food and with the nervous system support, you still feel stuck, right? Your digestion still flares, you're getting upset a lot, and it feels like you are playing whack-a-mole with your symptoms. Random ones are popping up, you don't know how to deal with them, you can't stay on top of them, and that's when it can really be worth it to look deeper. So in functional medicine, we have tools that help us see what's missing, right? What's happening beneath the surface, things that your standard lab tests might miss. And one of my favorites for this kind of work is functional stool testing. So this can actually uncover imbalances in your gut bacteria. So too much of the wrong kind, not enough of the good kind. It can talk about malabsorption. So are you breaking down your food and digesting it and turning it into nutrients and energy? It can talk about inflammation, hidden infections or parasites. Is your gut lining compromised, right? So is leaky gut present? And to what extent? And we can also look at things like nutrient and hormone testing. So, because low levels of certain vitamins, minerals, and hormones can directly impact serotonin production, it can impact your stress resilience, even your energy, looking at these things can be key to finding solutions. And this means that when you have this information, you can stop guessing, right? You can create a plan that is truly personalized for you, supporting your body in the exact areas that it is struggling, instead of just throwing random supplements or random fixes or random workout regimens at the wall and hoping that they stick. So the biggest shift that I see for my clients comes when they realize their low mood isn't all in their head. And their gut issues aren't just something to push through. So your brain and your gut are partners. When one is suffering, the other feels it. And that means that you have two doors into recovery, into healing. You can work from the gut side, you can work from the brain side, or go through both doors at the same time because they support one another. So maybe that starts with one small food upgrade. Maybe it starts with adding a few minutes of breath work. Maybe it is finally getting tested if you've been curious about what's really going on underneath the surface. Whatever that first step looks like for you, it counts and it matters.